So, my bio is it's a joke that apparently only we get, but it's I make substantially adequate films with James Crawford, who's our my producer here in the front, and we form a comedy producing team called Extra Medium, and we've made about soon to be 8 short films in the past year and a half, including a series called The Drunks, which Leanna is one of the stars of.
Ken and I are part of Decent Humans, and we met in a Sketchworks writing room. Sketchworks is a live sketch comedy troupe in town that works out of the Village, and we met 3.5 years ago.
Join a group, go to a writer's room, like get with other writers and bring in your idea, but then just riff with them, and just think about how many times you've just been hanging out with your friends and you're not necessarily worried about being funny, but you're just kind of riffing, and then you think about that with 5 or 6 really talented, funny people in the same room with a already kind of interesting premise, and just let it go.
If you come up with every potential scenario that could happen to your characters or in your sketch, then you will eventually weed out the bad ones and come across something that's good.
Yeah, film, you can do whatever you want theoretically, but also much like stage, at the level we're at, and probably presumably a lot of you are limited by budget and location and resources. Mm-hmm. So in that element, it does help to kind of narrow your stories, focus them to sort of a singular story with few characters in one setting, and you can tell a lot. You can tell a lot of stories in just one setting.
Another thing I should add: you should never, ever, ever set out to make a viral video. You should set out to make a video that is the best you can do, and hope that don't even think about it going viral. Just make it the absolute best you can, because if you try to make it viral, then you are going to be very disappointed. You can always have an idea of how you want it to go. I mean, if you can see it working in your head, then you should go with that instinct. But of course, when you get on set, it might not be the actor might not be in sync with you, and it's your job to work with them to either kind of get it closer to it, or if it's something that can be done in editing, then you can just do it that way.
Yeah, we kind of have a rule though: get it clean twice, mm-hmm. and then play. Because what was on the page had a purpose and was meant to be funny, and if you're hoping people show up and make it funny, you might get screwed. I don't know. So
yeah, and you definitely have some lines that are your anchors, so to speak. They're your plot points, and they turn your story into a different direction, or they're a big reveal, or they need to be said for the next thing to make sense. And when you do it enough times, you start to learn the difference. But then you also know when it's just kind of fun, and it's better if they're just riffing and getting the essence of what's happening, but still making it their own and finding the funny in their ad-libs and everything, really. You don't want to be the writer/director who comes like, it's this way, this is exactly what I meant, and make them feel restricted. You hear what they have to say, and it makes it feel, and they're more excited and interested and take ownership of it.
It's always awesome when an actor shows up and they're definitely willing to get what was on the page, but then they're wanting to experiment a little bit. What if we did this? What if we did that? Always within reason, though. You don't have time to do 20 takes if you got it on the first 2.
And another technique is to not say cut when they're expecting cut to happen, and just let them go and let them sweat. And mm-hmm. they're sitting there wondering, how long do I have to keep doing this? And you just sit there stoic and watch, and they don't know what else to do, so they just start riffing. That works in 2 shots, and then once you get someone in an ISO, a single solo shot, you can start feeding them things. You can start making suggestions, because they don't necessarily have to be playing off someone, because the camera doesn't see that other someone. So yeah, you can just start hurling things at them, trying to get different reactions. And
we really like to film in the reverse, not masters to closes, because usually people got the script this week, but they can't do it because something happened, so you grab someone else. So then it's very little time for them to get into it and do all their work that they would normally want to do for you, but you've given them no heads up. So then we like to film them in the closes, get them comfortable, and then your wide's going to be a lot tighter. They know they want to do this already. It worked that one time, so now they're going to do it in the wide. So we really like to do that.
Yeah, and Leanna and I shot about 50 sketches in 2 years, and we didn't have a lot of money. And one of the ways you can get people to keep coming and keep playing with you is to give them some autonomy, not just actors, but your editors, your musicians, your effects people. Let them make something their own. Let them know what you want, but also give them the opportunity to flesh out characters or create jokes or create moments that they might not get when they're doing a Home Depot commercial or something. So they'll keep coming to play for free or little money.
I like to give at least a little bit of positive feedback, just to keep them going at least until the next take, because like a lack of positive feedback might cause them to start ramping things up and try to like fish for that positive feedback, and that might not be what the scene needs.
And I actually, when I'm on the other side of the camera, I forget, like, actors need praise, or not necessarily praise, but like to say, okay, you're doing the right thing here. I feel good about you, but because I can get like stoic and I'm just right. You've got all these balls in the air. You want to make it go well, and you can forget someone's there waiting for that positive reinforcement in some way, and be like, oh, you're actually, I'm loving what you're doing. I mean, you don't have to necessarily stop like that, but it's good to keep in mind these actors are there, putting themselves in this like weird make-believe world for you. So don't forget that. Even if they're making it look easy, like they need to know where they are and get feedback and feel comfortable in whatever space you've created for them.
Remember when you're all reading the scripts, you guys are, we're all fans first. So just kind of sit around, read the script a few times, and just laugh at it if it's funny, hopefully, and just get comfortable with it, and try not to put too much pressure on anyone ever. Just remember that we all like what we're doing.